Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
This is awesome!
Hello and welcome once again to Cheap Shot Entertainment. This is your weekly roundup of everything that happened in NXT UK. We've got the studio lights, we've got the curtains open. Who knew? What a world we live in, where we can actually have sunlight, actual daylight, coming into a studio to film a video. Yeah, it's sunny outside and I've taken an extra shift at work. Yay! So I get to stay inside all day and not see an ounce of it. Anyway, onto the video. Got a cracking show for you this week. Really good, leading into the next takeover event, which is going to be in Cardiff on the 31st of, I believe it's the 31st. Yeah, it's the 31st of August. It's the very last day of August, leading on to the Sunday. Lots of wrestling on that day, in fact. So we're getting together and doing like a SummerSlam thing, but we're not doing SummerSlam this year. We still have a report for you anyway, and we'll be watching NXT TakeOver Cardiff. So yeah, check all those videos out when they happen. Obviously we're still in June at the moment, and this is the 26th of June 2019. This is the episode that came out on that day. It was recorded at Download Festival in Derby, or Derby as they say in the WWE, because, you know, there you go. So yeah, really good show. It's an outdoor venue with interesting and different dynamic, but the crowd noise was fantastic, as you can expect. So we're going to have a couple of weeks worth of this. So yeah, I'm all for it. I love outdoor shows. I think they need to be more forward with outdoor shows. Obviously it's a bit more difficult in the UK to do outdoor shows with the weather patterns that we have. So, you know, maybe one day I will see an outdoor show that isn't 6 million hours long. Anyway, we're going to get into the review now. We've got lots of information for you. Start taking more detailed notes on the matches. And yeah, follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, and yeah, click the subscribe button, like the video and hit the notification bell to know when we upload new content to the channel. Okay, let's get into NXT UK episode number 49. We're nearly a full year into the rotation of NXT UK, and I've been really enjoying it. I've got Switchblade Jay White on my t-shirt, and we're going to head straight into the main part of the video. Who's this coming out of the table? It's Enzo Amore, the cheap pop that we got from the Wrestle Crate this month. Yeah, I'm keeping it in an act of defiance. Him and his consensual. Yeah, you just go back down there. Yeah, you stay there, Enzo. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's life size actually. Anyway, so yeah, NXT UK this week. We've got lots of stuff to go through with you. I just need to log into my computer, my iPad that I read everything from, which is why I'm down here most of the time when I'm doing my videos. I thought it was already on screen. It is not. I'm getting there, and I'm just rambling now to fill in some time. Anyway, we're finally there. And let's click on things. We will get going. Okay, so they're still collecting money for Adrian Lionheart McCallum's funeral on ICW, so check out ICW Facebook page to go and donate to that and help his parents put on a really good send-off for the Lionheart over there. Of course, he died a couple of weeks ago now. I think it was actually last Wednesday, and there's a GoFundMe page to help fund that funeral for an absolute legend in the modern British wrestling scene, so head over there for that. Like I say, it was Download Festival, was Donington in Derby, and we first get a promo, and it's from Travis Banks. He talks about Walter and being ready. So Pete Dunne says he was ready. Travis Banks is ready. I'm not just going to say it. He is ready. So we go straight into the first match, and the first match features Mark Andrews versus Joseph Connors. Of course, Joseph Connors is a hometown boy. Still gets booed to heck from the Download Festival crowd. They know their stuff when it comes to wrestling. A lot of sweaty goths in a muddy field enjoying wrestling. What more could you want? Anyway, Connors gets on top early in this one, but Andrews does take to the skies eventually and gets back into the match with a dive to the outside and a moonsault. Enzo Amore's fallen over. He's probably a bit drunk. A moonsault that leads to a near fall. First one in this match. Connors gets back on top very quickly. He is quick, he is slow, he is methodical. Hits a buckle bomb and then a face plant. Andrews hits a stun dog millionaire as Joseph Connors is going for a sort of suplex move. And yeah, he hits the fall to pieces now for the win, which is the what is it? It's like a inverted splash thing. Can't even think what it's called, but that's the name for his move. It's a fall to pieces, jumps off the top rope, goes like that, and lands on his opponent like this. Enzo, whoop, boof, like that. Right? Okay. So here's the fall to pieces for the win over Joseph Connors, the hometown boy. And Joseph Connors still looking for that win, still looking for that winning streak. You have to say he's probably one of the biggest names on the UK scene in WWE NXT UK. But he's not getting much in the way of wins at the moment. He's more of an enhancement talent. I think he's still on the independent circuit, in fact. So that's probably why he's not getting much luck in terms of these things. But there you go. That's the first match. Mark Andrews takes the victory. Dave Mastiff then goes to try and calm down the Hunt, who are trying to tear down the barricades that are holding in the NXT crowd, and my boys, the Hunt, the Wild Boar, is trying to rip down the walls, and the Primate is trying to rip down the things that hold up the board. Dave Mastiff comes down, the camera shakes. It's like, what are you going to do, brother? And yeah, he says, are you going to let Gallus take you out? Are you going to let them tell you what to do and how you can do it? No, they're not. And it was very quickly announced by Johnny Saint that we get a 6-man tag match next week from the 6, Gallus versus the Hunt and Dave Mastiff. What a hot fight that is going to be. They're going to have to reinforce the ring for that one. The grizzled young veterans come out in their custom made suits as Liverpool's #1 tells the Download crowd that they are a bunch of sweaty goths in a field, and he could not be more accurate. Anyway, yeah, so they come out in the custom made suits. They've got bags on their feet. So Johnny Saint thinks it's going to be funny to have the tag team champions defend their titles in a field with a bunch of sweaty goths, and they want to get out of this cesspool as quickly as they possibly can. And that is the promo for the Grizzled Young Veterans. We don't get to see them very much, but when they do appear, they are always very funny, and it is usually Zach Gibson who does all the talking, and yeah, James Drake sort of just stands idly by. He's got his own face on his arse. And there's then a promo between Rhea Ripley and Piper Niven, or sort of a video package rather than a promo. But yeah, we're getting these two ladies fighting at some point in the near future. I'm imagining that they'll probably have a couple of matches and then fight at Takeover. 2 weeks. Oh, it's 2 weeks. The Hunt versus Gallus in a rematch. It's Killer Kelly next versus Xia Brookside. Of course, a couple of weeks ago it was Killer Kelly and Xia Brookside showing some respect to each other in their match that they had. That was quickly broken up by Ginny and Jazzy Gabbert, and Killer Kelly slid out of the ring, leaving Xia Brookside to be beaten up by Jazzy Gabbert. So this is definitely a grudge match. Brookside fully focused on Killer Kelly, and both laying into each other. Of course, Killer Kelly has got a background in martial arts. Xia Brookside is just from Liverpool, so it's a very even fight. Anyway, so they both lay into each other and throwing hard strikes at each other, both trying to absorb that first initial flurry. Who gets on top? Kelly gets the best of Xia Brookside in the early going. Xia Brookside does make her comeback very quickly as she flies, and we then see Ginny and Jazzy Gabbert make an appearance on the stage, try and take the attention away from Killer Kelly of Xia Brookside. Of course, there is definitely an attack on Xia Brookside here. This gives Killer Kelly the chance to hit her from behind, and doesn't take long for Xia Brookside to prove why she is seen as one of the biggest names on NXT UK. She basically just turns around, hits a code breaker and pins. So turn around, code breaker, leave. There we go. And then Xia Brookside is your winner in this one. Very short match. It's unfortunate that this was a short match. I feel like it could have gone a bit longer. I feel like it could have been a little bit better, and it does reflect on the scores later on. But it is building up a card between Xia Brookside and Ginny, of course, with Jazzy Gabbert behind her. Who knows what's going to happen? Tony Storm talks about the new #1 contender, Kaylee Ray, who won the #1 contenders battle royal. It's good to see the ladies getting a lot of airtime on NXT UK, actually. And she talks about the Shiny Shiny. If you didn't know what the Shiny Shiny was, that is the title that is currently draped over her shoulder. And she calls it Shiny Shiny now. Apparently she's gone nuts. Anyway, Noam Dar next versus Ligero. Lots of wrestling in this show. Third match already, and we only get an hour of this. And he is described then as a wind-up. Noam Dar is described as a wind-up. He's winding up Ligero, taking him off his game. Ligero gives him some of that back. I've seen Ligero in person, and he is a good wind-up as well, so he can dish it out as well as he gives it. And very even match. Two veterans of the UK wrestling scene going toe-to-toe with each other. There's no real advantage here in the early going. So with that being said, Kenny Williams comes down to ringside, having had a chat to his longtime friend Noam Dar. Noam Dar says he'll take him under his wing. Kenny Williams comes down to ringside with a steel chair and gets himself comfortable watching the match. Dar stays focused though, doesn't even realise Kenny Williams is out there, and finally Ligero gets on a roll and nails Dar with a super kick to the side of the head. Ligero tries to fly. This is countered into an ankle lock, and he hits a fisherman's buster, and both guys go down. That is Ligero hitting a fisherman's buster, and both guys are down on the canvas now. Ligero can't get up because of his ankle. Dar has just been hit with a fisherman's buster. Ligero hits more high-flying moves. Dar is favouring the knee. in another possum playing role play type of thing. He uses his knee quite a lot. I get the feeling this is going to play out like the boy who cried wolf, and Dar is going to get his comeuppance eventually. The referee obviously keeping Ligero out of the way because Dar looks like he's tweaked his knee again. Long history of knee problems, very well documented. And as this is happening, Dar encourages Williams to hand him the chair. It's like, hand me the chair, hand me the chair, hand me the chair. And he doesn't. He does eventually get up and put it in his hands and then pulls it away, and this distracts Dar completely. Ligero gets back in for the roll-up and the win over Noam Dar. Huge victory here for the Horned One, known as the Leeds Luchador Ligero. Huge win, and Kenny Williams gets one over on Noam Dar. Not sure that's how it was supposed to play out, but if it is, it's going to move a storyline forward. Not sure where Ligero is going to go from here, sort of floating around in the mid-card. We get on to the main event of the evening now, which is always a good thing because the main events have always delivered. Doesn't matter what main events they have been, fatal four-ways, triple threats, falls count anywhere, UK Championship matches, and there's lots of Championship matches on these shows at the moment, Women's Championship matches or Tag Team Championship matches. The main events have always delivered. And it is Travis Banks who won the Fatal 4-Way number 1 contenders match a couple of weeks ago, and he is now the number 1 contender. He is going against the current UK champion in Walter. Imperium are nowhere to be seen here, so Walter wants to do this on his own. You can respect that, even though he's now turned into a heel and he's got a faction called Imperium. He can take out Travis Banks. Can he? Yeah, so Banks does go in hard. He knows that he's got to take down Walter early and take him out quickly. So he goes in really hard with this one. Walter shows his superior size and strength advantage to power out of Banks's strikes and just pushes him out of the way. He then goes straight into the corner and loads Banks onto the corner spine first, stretches him over the top like he's playing a human accordion, and then gives him a massive chop to the chest. And we all know what Walter's chops are like. They are brutal, and Banks falls to the outside. Boot to the face, and being very methodical here is Walter. You can expect that. He will slow down the pace. Banks wants to quicken it up. Walter wants to slow it down. And that's Bucks Fizz Wrestling. Unforgiving on Banks. Banks does try to take out Walter's legs, and this does not work first time, but he's knotting up the hamstrings, bit ready for later on. Walter back on top very quickly with a twist to the neck, and on the challenger, and the striking game comes back to work for Travis Banks. Again, Banks hits the drop kick. Walter tries to drop kick in a retaliation out of the corner, but Banks is on a roll here. Walter misses his giant drop kick, and Travis Banks then starts to kick the legs out from under Walter, and he does work this time. He takes Walter off his feet for the first time. Takes him off his feet again and hits a double stomp. He tries to hit the slice of heaven, but he's caught and put in a Boston Crab. Great technical wrestling, great reversal wrestling. Great stories being told in NXT UK as well. This is broken up by the ropes. Slice of Heaven is tried again as both men struggle to get up. Slice of Heaven is hit by Travis Banks this time, and this after a kick to the leg. And when Walter is caught in the ropes, so Walter tries to kick Travis Banks in the ropes. Travis Banks hits a slice of heaven and then takes out his leg from underneath him. Walter rolls to the outside just as this move is hit, and obviously that means that Travis Banks can't get the pin for the win, and is then tries to hit a dive but gets caught, and Walter in the ring. Walter catches Banks coming the second time as he's outside and hits him with a boot as he's coming back into the ring. So the first one did hit Walter. Travis Banks rolls him back into the ring. Travis Banks tries to get back in the ring and Walter catches him with a boot. That is the sequence here. I was getting a bit confused. There is a powerbomb on the apron which leads to the eventual finish. Banks rolled back into the ring. Walter hits a second vicious powerbomb on Travis Banks, the Kiwi buzzsaw, and he cannot get out of this one. That is it for Travis Banks. Walter is still your UK champion in the WWE and NXT UK. Absolutely buzzing from this match. Really good match. Another impressive outing from Walter. Who is going to take him down? I've got no clue who is going to eventually topple the massive Austrian, especially with Imperium in his corner. Although I will say, for a semi-heel faction, they do respect the fact that the champion goes out there and defends his title, unlike the Undisputed Era. So only time will tell on that one. Like I say, he's fighting with honour. He's bringing back the honour to the ring, and it's not Ring of Honour. Ba-boom. So yes, very game Travis Banks this week. He was absolutely on form. I've seen Travis Banks, I think, once in Hope Wrestling. Really impressed with him then, really impressed with him now. He's worked so hard to get that after battling back from injuries and getting taken out at the NXT TakeOver show by Jordan Devlin. Don't know what's next for Travis Banks. Maybe down the line he'll get another shot. I know Jordan Devlin's had a couple of shots as well. So, but Joe Coffey's due for another shot as well. So we've got a lot of people coming in, and I think it's going to need to be a big guy toppling a big guy in this case. But who knows? You know, you never really know these things. You can never really predict these things unless you're in the prediction league, like I am. And we will have hopefully some predictions for you for Extreme Rules, and we'll do a video on that hopefully if Ben from Squared Circle Jobbers is available. I will do those prediction videos because we haven't done one for about a month because we've been on hiatus from WWE. So there you go. That's Enzo and Amore. I have been Luke, and we're going to go into the outro. And so that is everything that happened at NXT UK episode number 49. It took place at Download Festival in Derby, in Donington. And it was aired on the 26th of June 2019. I think we've got another couple of episodes at least that were filmed at the Download Festival. I believe, having watched NXT, that the NXT guys and girls aren't there this year, but NXT UK has sort of taken over from that, so they don't have to fly them over and fly them back. So that's pretty cool. So next year we'll get another couple of download episodes. Next week on the show we've got a tag team championship match. 2 weeks time we've got the 6-man tag match as well. Lots of really good things to look forward to, and we've also got a women's championship match coming up, so that'll be really cool. So yeah, I am going to be stopping doing the videos. We're going to probably stop it at about the year mark, but with NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff coming up, I may do videos all the way up to that and then just start doing the pay-per-views from there. or just giving you a rundown of what happened very quickly with results and things, and seeing how that goes. I don't know what's going to fill this slot when we do that, but you can find out by clicking that subscribe button and hitting that notification bell to know when we upload new content to the channel. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. And a new thing we've got set up, although there's no posts on there at the moment, is a blogger going to be headed up by my nephew Martin. You will have seen him on the show. He does a lot of notes for us for when we're doing the videos, so I've asked him if he wants to put them online for people to read, and he said yes. So that's exactly what we're going to do, and there's going to be links to all of the social media and stuff like that. We're going to try and have everything in one place, so that's going to be really cool as well. We can get that going, up and running. Still in the creative stage at the moment, but I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure you click that subscribe button and it'll give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time right here on Cheap Shot Entertainment. You have been the Cheap Shot Nation. I have been your host Luke, and goodbye.